and welcome in to the Void Within Slumber Party. How's everyone doing? Hello? Hello? So many new people here. What's going on, everyone? Nugget, thank you for the raid. Welcome in, everyone. How are you doing? It is my pleasure to be able to bring the Void Within Slumber Party. This is going to be so much fun, guys. We have a lot planned. Make sure to grab your favorite Neopets. Gather them all together, get your PJs on, because we have a lot planned for today. It's going to be so much fun. I think we're just waiting on a few guests to come in. Oh. Do you hear that, guys? I hear the door knocking. Oh.
Hello.
Oh, well, hello. It is the
Bobby.
Shop Wizard Jubjub.
How are you, Bobby? So good to see you.
Oh, it's so good to see you too. How are you doing?
Oh, I'm doing fantastic. I'm so excited to be here for the Neopets Void Within Slumber Party. Yeah.
Oh, me too. This is going to be so much fun. I'm so glad you could make it.
Oh, me too. It's not easy to escape these days from the Hat Hut, but here I am.
Awesome. Well, I'm glad you are here to help co-host this with me. It is going to be so much fun.
Oh yeah. Well, welcome everyone.
Yeah, so we have a lot of fun things planned with a lot of fun guests today. Let's just go over who we'll be seeing on the show for today. We do have our first segment coming up. We have the lore pillow talk. Originally, the Amanda Files was going to be on, but she couldn't make it. So we do have fellow community ambassador Kevin joining us to be able to host that session with several writers and developers, including Aesop, Jewel, Stone, and Dingo. So we're going to be jumping. Well, yeah, we're going to be jumping into that. What's one of your favorite moments from the Void Within so far?
Oh man, what's my favorite moment? When I narrowly escaped the Grey Painter in its tidal wave. I don't know if you saw that, but you look back in the picture there, I'm actually on top of a roof, seeking refuge. So,
yeah, I'm glad you're safe. Yeah. That would have been really awkward if you were Grey here.
Yeah, yes it would. Yes it would. Sort of nice staying in the Hat Hut. Anyways, what's your favorite moment, Bobby?
Oh, I think it was really cool when Baelia, semi-spoilers for the new part that just came out this week. Is that even her name? Baelia? When she blocked the gray paint, I thought that was like a really sick moment because it was like perfect because she is already gray.
Yeah. I agree. What a heroine.
Well, why don't we do a recap for everyone? I have a trailer here to show off, and then afterwards we're gonna jump right into the first segment. The lore pillow talk. So stay tuned for. Yeah, it's gonna be a lot of fun. Stay tuned for that. Check out this trailer. Hello? Hold, it's not showing. Hold. Okay. Oh, wait. Oh.
Well, here we are. Say hello, everyone.
Hello,
Hi.
everyone.
Hello, hi.
Hey there.
So, we just saw the trailer for previously on The Void Within. And here we are to talk more about The Void Within, and some behind the scenes as well, with our special guest, Kevin O Gaming.
Hi, I'm here. I made it.
All right, so I suppose we can sort of just jump right into it. Well, for those of you new to The Void Within, what is The Void Within? Anyone?
Well, I guess I can feel
Is
that
that a
one.
question?
Yeah, the Void Within is the first plot that Neopets has seen in a very long time. It was divided up into 3 episodes, and we are just now getting through the final episode, getting to the thrilling climax, as it were.
All right, that's right. So it's a very big story. It's about to be finished. Does anyone have any favorite moments so far from The Void Within?
I have too many to count, so I'm going to try to let one of the other TNTers hop in here.
I don't think my favorite moment has happened yet, so I don't think I
Oh.
should answer.
Appreciate that.
I can speak to at least one of my favorite moments to create. It was the scene between Baelia and Luxinia while in the tunnel.
Oh,
Yeah, that was definitely one of my favorite moments. I loved the growth between the two of them and just that peaceful moment and a scary time.
it's a very touching moment, I must say.
Yeah, I'm struggling to think of a favorite moment because I liked so many of them, but I guess it's not really a moment so much as like a prolonged thing. I love the relationships between the characters and the dynamics between them. I really, really liked getting to write a bit about Vera and Ozzy, and I super enjoy the relationship between Nyx and Tabby. So I think the moments that those characters have when they fight, when they're getting along, all that stuff, those are my favorite moments for sure.
A lot of great chemistry for sure.
Following up on that, I really loved that moment that we had recently with Vera, not being sure of what they want anymore. That was something we were really excited to lead up to, one of those big moments that we've been just so thrilled for everyone to see. And it was really fantastic seeing the responses from everyone, and everyone really rooting for poor Vera, too.
I really love that
Absolutely.
redemption arcs. I feel like it's sort of just like it's like very much something that's so easy to resonate with. So really love that. All the characters too. Are any of them that like true standouts for any of you? Any of them that like you really resonate with? Any villains?
I think both Vera and Baelia for me are 2 that I really wanted to make sure we fit into this plot, and I'm really excited that we wove them in to this story because I feel like they fit so well. And then one of the new characters, personally, I am very connected to Ozzy. I really do love that little gray gerbil so much.
He's got a good heart deep down.
Glad you can see that.
I sure can.
Yeah, it's not that deep down. You can see he's got a wonderful, he's got a lovely heart. I love Ozzy. Yeah, I don't know about characters I resonate with as much. I definitely vibe with Nyx a lot, but Ozzy easy. I've always been a Vera girly too, but yeah, Ozzy quickly became my favorite character the more and more time that I spent with him.
Got pretty good style too.
Honestly.
Totally.
Well, I suppose we should look at the next question here. TNT Aesop, this one's for you. When the team first approached the Void Within, what kind of Neopets story did you want to tell as Neopets experience its revival?
Yeah, I think one thing we really wanted to do is make sure that we told a story that expanded upon the world of Neopia already, as opposed to just trying to jam something new in there. We wanted it to feel organic and that it actually belonged in this world. And that's how a lot of the original ideas, like the acrimonious paintbrush and the gray creeping across the lands, were born from looking at Neopian history and being like, huh, there's a lot of people who've wondered more details about how great paintbrushes work and about how gray fairies work. Maybe we could explore that in a plot. And I think similar things happened when we started connecting the dots and like, wait, that could bring us to Bailia, another character that we've really wanted to, who frankly deserves to have their story finished after all this time. So a lot of it happened organically, just based on like what we as fans thought other fans would want to see expanded upon, and then how could we fit in that into the world. And then there was a few other things we really wanted to make sure we did right. I think one of them was ensuring that fans who came from the outside and maybe hadn't played in a few years could still enjoy the game, and the new story that we were rolling out, that there was a way for people who had not played in a long time to still enjoy it, whether that was something like incorporating the volunteering, so that way if you're not a big battler, you have another fun way to play it still. But I think like taking a step back and looking at the story, another thing we really wanted to capture was that feeling of being a pet owner, and really like not really just owning your pet, but developing this friendship and this bond with them. And that's something that kind of organically became Nyx and Junie as well as we started developing the story. So I think there was a lot of what we really cared about as fans and what we thought people would want to see. And then above all, we knew it had to be a big splash if this is the first plot we've seen in a long time. So we're finally getting there now. It's been a lot of buildup, but we're finally getting to some of those really big moments. Like with Fiora, I think we were just talking about favorite comic moments, and oh my goodness,
Wow.
that Long Live the Queen. Yup, that is up there for me too.
Yeah. Yeah, that was a pretty crazy moment. I think that's all wonderful stuff. I mean, that's how you bring the best thing to the table. You bring in people who care. So
It kind of like really makes me think about how like for me as like a longtime player, I sort of associated not just because of the plot itself, the lore, and all the kind of gameplay elements, but this is just such a monumental sort of milestone for TNT, right? It launched. I remember when I was at San Diego Comic Con when it first was publicized, and I was like, this is so wild, and I think like it just really sparks sort of like a new era, as y'all put it. And I guess like one of the questions that I sort of have when I sort of contextualize it in this timeline is like you are obviously trying to balance expectations from people who have been playing for a very long time, and then also people who are returning, and then people who are brand new to the game. How do you sort of kind of like mix and match some of those expectations and pull from old references and think of what could be new, et cetera, et cetera?
It's a difficult balance, and I will say we've learned a lot. I think there was definitely some missteps on our part. I mean, like you said, it's a big monumental thing for our team, and there's maybe one or two people on TNT who were around for the last plot, but as a whole, for this team, this was an entirely new endeavor for us. And I do think that there was a lot of trying to figure out how can we still make this accessible to new players. And I think Nyx, her character being lost in the void, and really knowing Neopia from a time past that a lot of us remember, back when it was just a few lands and not quite as built out as it was, coming back after being lost in the void. I think that experience for Nyx is really a good way that we thought we could kind of recapture and explore that kind of just experience that a lot of players have returning to the site years after not playing for a long time, and now coming back and being like, wow, so much has changed. Fairyland's on the ground. Like, there's a lot of differences here. And we really had a lot of fun kind of exploring some of those little moments in between, with Nyx realizing how much Neopia has changed, not only with Ozzy and her brother, but just as a whole, as a world. And I think that is something we wanted to continue doing. That was a big goal of our plot, was to maybe try to use it as a vehicle to catch players up who have missed out on some of those things, get them caught up, go through a few different lands, see where Neopia is at now, and also try to set up some excitement for the future, because I think that's what we don't want to end this plot and just be like, we're done. We want to really end this with some really cool threads that could be followed in the future and expanded upon in future storylines too.
That's pretty awesome.
It's pretty amazing.
Do you feel like as you've sort of written this live and think about the case that like this is being developed in real time and there are people who are sort of watching it as it happens, what do you think the hardest part has been sort of writing the plot while there's people that are like actively playing, like have all these expectations and things kind of build, like what's made that challenging?
I think keeping a finger on the pulse and understanding what players are saying and how they're reacting, while also keeping a little distance, is kind of one of the tougher parts for me there. A lot of us are really connected to the story, worked really hard on it. Obviously, you can't make everyone happy. It's not going to be everyone's cup of tea, but we really are trying to appeal to as many players as we can. And we're trying to keep in mind that if we don't appeal to certain players this time around, what can we do in the next story to really try to capture their attention and get them excited about Neopets again? So I think that's been a little bit of a struggle, is sifting through all the feedback. We generally do appreciate everything, whether it's criticism or happy thoughts. We really do look through a lot of it, and we take everything into account as we're developing. Like even just going from episode 1 to episode 2 to episode 3, there were small tweaks. The overall story has stayed the same in the outline. It had to. We had things like upper deck cards connected to it, but we really did try to, especially around things like the gameplay and just the way the plot was rolled out, adhere to make it easier to players and have a more exciting time for them. I do think in the future too, we have so many other like great thoughts on how we can move forward and develop some cool new stories around different characters. But I think we were really trying to do everything we could to get people excited about the fairies, the Neopets, the lands, just every aspect of Neopia.
I love the positivity.
TNT Stone, I have a question for you.
Yeah.
What is one small writing detail you hope players notice?
Oh. There's a lot of them. We definitely tried to sprinkle in a lot of seeds throughout the whole story, a lot of things that were really leading up. Let's see. I'd say one of the things is that I really loved how we were the story is creating a lot of things we can build off of outside of the plot itself. And so we've been trying to bring them in the plot and these seeds in the plot and outside of the plot. So I think it's really exciting when people catch it. When we always try to make the stories outside of the plot still their own stories. But if you go back to like if you like scary stories, if you go back to like the Festival of Fears and try and read through some of those, you'll see some of the connections that are to the characters within this plot. So I really love that, and I love when people catch those. And then I also love, we worked very closely with the art team, and obviously color is a big part of this story. But there's color that's connected to, has a lot of implications, and they're tied to certain characters. And being able to see that throughout was a really fun thing to pull off.
Very cool. See what else we have here. Oh, here's a good one. What was your role in the writing and development of The Void Within?
Still me. So I was lucky to be around at very close to the beginning. And we got to do a lot of the ideation. I had the honor to be like the main writer for a lot of chapters. I did design for some of the puzzles as well. Yeah, I got to do a little bit of everything, and that was very exciting.
Yeah, it sounds like you wore many hats.
I have 3 of them.
Oh, no way!
There it is.
All right. I have some questions for TNT Jewel now.
Oh, okay.
All right. What role do the short stories play in the Void Within compared to the comics or side events?
Oh, okay. So I'm actually really excited to talk about the short stories because I love writing short stories. I ended up doing the bulk of them for this episode. So from chapter 12 to the end, a lot of the short stories were my doing. So sorry to everyone for having to read like that monster chapter 12, all those many tens of thousands of words that I put in there. But I loved doing it. I loved writing it. Um, the role of the short stories, I think, is to add a little bit of depth into the characters and show a little bit more insight into their psyches. You'll notice that in chapter 12 in particular, most of the short stories were written from Ozzy's perspective. So we get to take a look at what Ozzy's thinking, what he's feeling, and what he was thinking and feeling in those moments in his life that led up to him becoming the Gray Painter. So we got to dig in a little bit to like the loneliness that he felt, the sense of abandonment, how important Nyx was to him, because Nyx was his family, she was his whole world, and then she suddenly disappears, and then somebody else comes into his life, his new best friend Styx. But then Styx has some friction with another friend that Ozzy makes, with Vera, and then we get to go with Ozzy through like dealing with that and trying to understand like how he felt about meeting somebody, making a new friend after Nyx disappeared, how he felt meeting Vera and being shocked that somebody was taking an interest in his paintings. We get to see his reaction to losing Styx and his reaction to Vera luring him in to become the Gray Painter. So if we didn't have the short stories, we would still get to see that story unfold, but we wouldn't get to see the real depth and thought behind it and how Ozzy was feeling. We would just mostly get like a surface level look at what was going on. We would get what you see, not what you feel and what you know and what you think. So I really like that the short stories were able to add some depth there and to let us really get to know these characters and sink our teeth into them.
Yeah, it had me in my feels for real.
I'm so glad.
Yeah. When you sit down to write a short story for the plot, where do you usually begin? Character, theme, plot, all that stuff.
So there's certain story beats that we have to hit while we're going through the chapters that we're writing. So like Stone, I was also the main writer for some of these chapters. And the mission of the chapters was to kind of figure out, okay, what do we need to get across here? How can we push the action forward? How can we get some good character moments and figure out like what it was basically just trying to figure out like what do we need and what do I like and want to show. So some of it was trying to figure out like whose perspective to write from, for example. Like obviously, if we're going through Ozzy's memories, it has to be through Ozzy's perspective. So kind of starting there and being like, okay, how is Ozzy feeling in this moment? How did he react to these things? What led him to this point? So that's kind of the starting point, is figuring out like what we need to portray, what I want to portray, and how the character would act in these moments.
A lot of very important backstory.
I really like that because I feel like, I don't know, as someone who gets easily overwhelmed by a lot of text or just a lot of reading, not a great reader, I just feel like being able to tie that emotional sort of element to it makes it resonate so much more strongly and makes it easier to digest. It makes it really exciting to kind of just get involved in. So it's clear that there was a lot of intentionality around making sure that there was that human element, Neopet element. I don't know if I could call them humans. But I don't know. I really like that. I really do.
Thank you.
All right, next up, TNT Dingo. Here we go.
Yes, hi, hello.
Hi. How does the narrative team work with the side event dev side to make the plot feel playable and not just readable?
So there was a lot of back and forth collaboration with that. So first of all, to make it clear, I'm a programmer, so my job was to implement the designs. We have designers who come up with, what everything should look like and how the experience should work. But the beautiful narrative people in this room also had a hand in a lot of that, with coming up with, all right, so at this point of the story, the user's going to have to do this sort of thing. And there were definitely some ideas, some games that we had to kind of rein in or cancel, or be like, maybe let's, like, rethink this, because it was either just a little too ambitious, or it was something that was like not going to be totally feasible to implement. But it's a very collaborative process. Once it gets to me, it's kind of just like, all right, well, I have to write the code to make it work the way that it should work. But there are definitely still times where I have input on how something is going to work. We try to make the systems for this plot very reusable, so that if we want to do more plots in the future, we can just kind of like plug and play in a sense. But a lot, the mini games are all very unique. We can't really like remake those necessarily, but there was a lot of setup that went into making everything work in a way to where the content team and the artists can just kind of put stuff in, and the programmers can be hands off after a while. So there were certain times where, when we got further into the plot, where Aesop might come to me and be like, hey, we want to do this. Is this possible? And I would either say, I'm going to have to tweak something a little bit to make this one of the options that like we can set up from our admin system, or I'd have to be like, no, I'm sorry, like, can we please just like do it in one of the ways that's already set up to do. So it's kind of a it, like I said, collaborative effort.
That's the only way you can get anything done.
Yeah, and TNT Dingo does not give themselves enough credit. There was so many times that they were a lifesaver.
Pretty cool.
Were
I got
you-
another question for you, TNT Dingo. What makes a plot update satisfying from a player experience perspective?
I think for me, as someone who used to play the plots, not that I wouldn't play this one, but when I'm testing it, I feel like I've already played it, so why why go redo it? But I just really like the story updates. I liked reading the comics. Half the time when I was a lot younger, I didn't realize that there was other stuff to do besides just read the comics. I thought it was just a bunch of comics to read, and I'm like, oh yay, new story. But yeah, I just really like to see where the plot goes. I have never been much of a battle domer. I know that's very exciting for a lot of the people, is for like new battle dome challengers, and we had a big boss fight. We're trying to, branch out, do new things, or bring things back that we haven't done in a while. So there's lots to be excited about.
Absolutely.
Kind of on that note around the Battle Dome, love the Battle Dome, and I guess like maybe this is a question for Stone as well, but when you think about, like bringing such a iconic part of plots back, like were there any challenges or hurdles in sort of reintroducing the Battle Dome, like Battle Dome elements into the game again, whether that be through building the tech to like actually enable it, or whether that's like layering it into stories? Like were there anything that like you like really remember as a highlight or a low light, I guess? That's for either of you.
I can't speak too much to the Battle Dome specifically, but if I'm understanding, it's more about like bringing back things that people enjoyed in past plots. And I'll leave it open to others as well, because I know Aesop put a lot of work into researching that and finding the things that we could bring back, and before we even started on it. But yes, we definitely did a lot of research. One of the big things as well was trying to go find like the feedback when it was happening, to see what people liked, what people disliked, and so that we could bring that into this one and also create unique things for this plot as well. I mean, it's difficult. Neopets has changed hands a lot, so intentions and things that they had planned doesn't necessarily transfer to what we're able to do now. But we still have a very impressive team, even if it is smaller than what Neopets had in the past. And so I do think we were able to accomplish what we set out for the most part, even if we did have to make some changes in between. But yeah, if anyone can speak specifically to the Battle Dome, I don't know if we have too many people in here for that, but I'll let others speak now.
I can speak broadly on it because we did have some involvement on like trying to plan things like when the Battle Dome fights would happen, how many there would be, and similar to what Dingo was saying with things like the games, there were quite a few that we had to either tone down or cut altogether, just because in order to do a Battle Dome encounter right, there is a significant amount of work that needs to go into designing them and usually creating new things like items and Battle Dome, either abilities or weapons that make it a more exciting and a different experience than just going in and clicking, the same old same old buttons and same old battles you've done before. I think again, none of us here have had a hand directly in designing it, but we did our best to work well with the main designer who was working on it at the time. And then there was another programmer, I believe. I think Dingo was responsible for almost all the programming except for the Battle Dome. So I feel like that's the one thing you can't touch upon really.
Yeah.
But yeah, honestly.
That was the only part that I didn't do, along with some of the mini games. Every other part of the plot I did the programming for.
I knew that. That's why I asked, right? That's why I asked. All on purpose, I'll throw anyone under the bus if I can. So
Well, I suppose we. Oh, sorry.
no, I noticed
You
your
go
screen went a
first.
little dark. Your screen went a little dark, so I was like, all right.
Yeah, I think I lost my nighttime lighting here. Might have to fix that in between, but that's all right.
I hope you find your light soon. I found mine.
Thanks.
I have another question. So we touched on, and I think this might be for Jewel, but like we touched on some of the importance of that emotional element within storytelling. But then there's also like the importance of like layering in a lot of lore and layering in a lot of that detail. How do you kind of strike that balance of, as someone that writes overly emotionally, is there something that you have to kind of keep in mind as you're writing those things out?
Yeah. To be honest, some of it is reining myself in because I want to drop all the lore. Like we have extensive talks, the narrative team, about the lore that we want to reveal during this plot and the stuff we've come up with and things that haven't been revealed yet. So trying to find a balance between striking those emotional chords and revealing all the cool little secrets we want to reveal, because we got some big ones. It is a challenge, but it's also really fun. And I think that the way that I like to do it, we can debate how effective it is based on some of the short stories that have been put out, but the way that I like to do it is showing it through the perspective of characters. So a character who doesn't know something is way more interesting than a character who does. So the best way to kind of reveal something is to go from the perspective of a character who doesn't know a thing and then kind of show the thing being revealed. Hard to strike that balance here, and I'm going to talk specifically about the short stories pertaining to Drakara and Fiora, because like let's take the one where Drakara was turned into a gray fairy. Drakara didn't know that that was coming, and she maybe doesn't entirely know why or how it worked. Fiora does. So that's why that moment was written from the perspective of Drakara, because that way we don't get all the answers. We leave room for speculation. We leave room for players to theorize about what's going on and why. And I have seen some of the theories out there. There have been a couple that I like sometimes a night before bed. Maybe I shouldn't do this, but like I scroll through some social media to see what people are saying about the plot. And there have been some theories that I'm looking at that I'm like, oh my God, you got it. You got it spot on. Like people have figured it out based on the little clues that we've left, but a lot of people haven't figured it out. So seeing the people that are almost there and are like picking up some of the pieces, but not all of the pieces, that's so, so rewarding because it means that we've done our job of giving you the answers without telling you the answers. So that's kind of how I like to balance it, is finding ways to reveal things without telling you what we're revealing.
Like making an engaging experience where you're sort of like almost it's almost an interactive in a lot of ways then.
Yeah, that's kind of what I'm hoping to go for. Again, we can debate how well we're able to pull that off, but I like to think that based on some of the theories that I'm seeing, I like to think that we've accomplished it to at least some extent. So thank you for all you people who are guessing about the lore and what's going on. Love it. I really love it.
I feel like people are gonna hear that just like start frantically searching through all the discords and all the boards to like be able to see like, okay, who was the one that was close? Who was the one that was close?
Yep.
So Aesop, question for you, and this is slightly tangential, but do you pronounce your name TNT Aesop or Aesop?
Aesop.
Okay. So TNT Aesop. Without spoilers, what do you think are like some of the most important themes around the Void Within, personally?
I think one of the biggest ones is identity. That's one that we've really been focused on from the start for multiple characters. It's been very important to them. It's very directly tied to things like the Grey Fairy, whether it's Balia or Jakara herself. But I know identity has been a big one we've been really focusing on. And I think another one is just generally like isolation too is another one we've been focused on. That's something that was definitely very much with both Balia and Ozzy wanting to kind of lock themselves away. And Bailey was lucky enough to have someone like Tavi that was able to pull her out of that a little bit and just get her some sunshine here and there. And that made a very big difference versus Ozzy, who had that for just a brief moment with Styx, but then lost that pretty soon and then was pulled just deeper into the darkness with Vera. So I think those are two big things we've been really focusing on. A lot of our team has gone through, different experiences in life that have shaped them and have helped them write this plot. I think one important thing about this is we wanted to make sure that it felt real and it came from a very real place. And because of that, we're able to draw on a lot of our experiences and write them into the story. And I'm really proud of, I feel like, how some of it's come organically in that way too, because there's oftentimes we'll have a plan, we'll start putting it together, and then as we go, we'll just realize that pieces fit in really well and it feels right. And we just let it tell itself at a certain point, honestly. I know I might sound a little off with that one, but I really do believe it.
Yeah, I mean, it really goes back to some of the things Joel was saying. It was like you're putting kind of your heart and soul into it, and like really just making it yours. And that's kind of what gives any kind of creative sort of output the personality, and what makes it resonate with so many people, right? So I think that's amazing. So Stone, going back to you. Are you ready?
Yeah.
So when you're thinking about sort of some of the development within the Void Within, what would you consider are like things that you are personally most proud about?
Goodness. So, similar to Jules, I love the character development, the character growth. One of the things, and also speaking to Aesop, where its stories just sort of wrote itself at some points. One of the things that I really loved, and I think it's even speaking back onto what I said was one of my favorite scenes with the Balia and Lexinia. Balia and Lexinia were two characters that almost from the very beginning were going to be part of the core group. But they were added for their own reasons. So we didn't necessarily have a planned relationship between them. Like they've never interacted. We weren't really sure how they were going to relate to one another. And it worked out so perfectly. I mean, Luxinia has never seen Balia as anything other than the Grey Fairy. And Balia has such a hardship when it comes to when she was a light fairy and how she is now, and how that changed her relationships with everyone that she knew, as well as Lexinia being a light fairy and Balia seeing this strong light fairy that that she wanted to be for people that she never felt like she could be enough for, and how they grew with one another. Like Baelia was there for Luxinia and got to see that Luxinia is flawed, but is still strong. And Luxinia got to see Baelia push through so many hardships and keep going. And they learned coping mechanisms through each other almost, and learned to really step out of their step out of themselves. And I feel like now if we hadn't put them both in the story, they wouldn't have been able to get as far as they did in the story. So that's one of the things that really resonated with me and was just so fun to explore. So I sort of forgot your question and got really into my answer.
I mean, I think that's really it. Like the fact that you're able to just really showcase that passion and sort of dedication you have to your work. That to me, like that is like the epitome of something you can be really proud about, right? So I really love that. I really do. I also have another question, and stop me if it's a little too spicy. But as someone who like I do a lot of project management in my day-to-day work, how do you think about like as someone and as someone who is not really a creative in any way, shape, or form, um, how do you think about that balance between sort of being in like a very much like, you know, like a development environment where you have to like work with timelines and work with multiple people and collaborate while still like writing these things that you put your like a lot of yourself into? How do you sort of like navigate that sort of space? And this is the question for anyone, if anyone has any strong feelings about that.
Yeah, I can start first and hand it off to others. It's definitely difficult when writing your own stuff. Sometimes you have the time to really sit there with it, step away, come back. You don't really get that here, especially because it might not be the only thing you're working on. We oftentimes have to work on other things while we're working on the plot. And so there is a balance to that. A lot of the credit goes to our amazing like leads and everyone that puts in the time to sort out all of that. But when it comes to the creative side, a big part of it as well is the phrase is kill your darlings. Is there is sometimes we really want to put in this cool thing. We really want to showcase this one moment, but we realize that it's not going to work, and technically the story can continue without it. And so we jot it down, we keep it in mind, and we hope we can bring it back later, but sometimes you just got to keep going.
Yeah, I can kind of add to that a little bit too. We do, and Dingo mentioned this earlier as well, we do have to end up cutting some things and killing our darlings a little bit. But we try to keep as much stuff in as we can because we want to tell these stories and we want to share these stories with you. And we know how much you guys all love these characters and Neopets as a whole. So we do really, really try to keep everything we can in. Again, kind of going back to the monster of chapter 12, that was actually 3 chapters. It was supposed to be divided into 3, but we had to condense it into one really, really big chapter to make sure that we got to keep all the emotional beats and that we got to keep everything, all the little hints that were going to pay off later. So yeah, it is sad when we have to cut things, and there are a couple things that I can think of off the top of my head that I'm sad that had to go. But it is kind of a matter of like finding that balance and being able to adapt to things as they change and as we realize, okay, we may not be able to do everything that we want to do. So it's being selective and keeping positive and just enjoying the things that we do have and really wanting to share all the fun things we've written and created with you guys.
Yeah.
That's a really awesome answer.
Thank you.
Well, oh, sorry.
No, I was just gonna say like I think there's. Ooh, I'm finding the wrong. I'm struggling to find the words to explain it, but I just think there's something there as far as like, that level of selectivity you have to kind of practice sort of almost makes the things that do end up making it through like even more special, because it's like, okay, like through it all, like this is what we're able to like push through and like kind of expose our audience. So yeah, I really like that.
All right, I think it's time for the audience participation Q&A. So let's pick 2 to 3 questions here, and yeah, Kevin, take it away.
Here's one. Okay, so this comes from Dragon Tamer 1522. And any of y'all can answer it. How does it feel taking someone else's past TNT's characters, or well, someone else's in this case is past TNT's characters, and officially making them your characters now? Sort of that handoff.
I can touch upon that. It's a little scary, honestly, but it's also a huge honor. I genuinely feel like we have gotten this incredible like sandbox to play in here that has come before us, and there was a lot of hard work, and it's passed through a lot of different hands of talented writers and artists, and each of us have things that we really are excited about, whether it's a certain plot or certain characters or lands. There's something that draws us to Neopets and it really appeals to us each. I feel like individually, even just as different writers, like we're all drawn to different things. But at the end of the day, we all have a really deep love and respect for the lore and the brand, and we really do everything we can to make sure that we're doing these characters justice and really honoring the legacy that came before us.
Yeah, I it's definitely scary, but also exciting because like I was actually like a kid playing it when a lot of these characters came to be. And then they have all these amazing storylines, and some of them have like shorter storylines, some of them have longer, but they all a lot that they have in common is that their storylines paused for a very long time, and we are now picking them up. Um, and like I mentioned before, like because it's past hands, we don't necessarily have a lot of like some internal lore did get lost. We don't necessarily understand the intentions that were behind these characters. So we really have to look into what we loved about them, what the fans loved about them. And do our best to honor them and bring them back and continue their story in a unique way while still staying true to their original ideation.
Yeah. And to add on a little bit further, I'm going to say this in a way that kind of sounds like a joke, but it really isn't. In a way, we're kind of writing fan fiction, but the difference between the difference that makes ours not fan fiction is that we have to sit in a writer's room and really think about how this is going to impact things coming down the line. We have to do a ton of research. Not to say that people who are writing fan fiction don't do the research. I know you do. Um, but we have to spend like hours and hours looking things up, checking our internal documentation, um, chatting out like, does this make sense for this character? Does that make sense for this character? Um, will this story contradict something else we want to do down the line? Does it contradict something that's happened in the past? We have to take things into account and then really carefully decide what we write and what we show and how we show it.
Yes, and same with adding new characters and new things to the
Mhm.
storyline. We've got to make sure that it fits within the world because it's like 25 plus years of a world that's been built that exists and has so many moving pieces. And there's also just a very specific or there's lots of tones for around Neopia, but I think a phrase that we said a lot was like, is this Neopetsy enough? Like we have to make sure it still fits within even though it is brand new.
Mhm.
Yeah, one last thought I want to say too is I think specifically making sure that what we're bringing to the table feels like Neopets is a very important part of it, but also just making sure that all the different pieces we're putting together feel fresh and different too. Like we don't want to just repeat things. And I think another thing that's important to us too is we don't want to retcon things. We don't want to just come in and be like everything's different, everything's been changed. This was wrong actually. We want things like that were new and introducing to organically feel like they flow. That's why things like the Gray Fairy lore that we've been building, we've really tried to make sure it's just like no, you're learning more about something that's always been there. We're just pulling back the curtain a bit so you can see some more of it. We're not necessarily trying to paint over what's already been there. Not to be too pretentious, but the pentimento of the painter, the title that we have here is really about painting over what's there, but doing it in a way that's still honoring what's there and kind of like building upon that. So I think it's actually pretty fitting for this discussion too.
Yeah. And then I also just want to give props to our team as we are doing our best to, in a sense, hopefully future proof Neopets and Neopia. We're doing a lot of work to make sure we write down the documentation. We keep track of all of these things and how they intersect with each other, and the intention that we're hoping that they continue in the future, even if we're not able to do it right now. I think Aesop mentioned it a while ago too, is there is going to be some unanswered questions in this plot. And we're really excited about that, because we want the fans to be able to think on that until we can bring them back. And we've made sure to really flesh out the unanswered questions so that they can be continued in the future.
I've got a good question here from Jelly Key. Now I'm wondering, how many staffers here were former Neopian Times writers and artists?
That's a good question. Yep, I can see TNT Jewel on there. I didn't actually submit to Neopian Times, but I worked on it as an editor for close to 2 years, actually.
Yeah,
I
same
have
here.
at least one comic in the Times.
Nice.
I've got a comic right here. I've been considering scanning and entering to the Neopian Times, but now I can't because I've said that. Oh, I don't think
Well,
you
we
can
can't
see
see
it.
it.
Yeah.
Okay, there we go.
There we go. Yeah. Maybe I'll post it somewhere, but it's not going in the Neopian Times now. Sorry, I don't know why I did that. I ruined it for myself.
But similar to what Aesop said, I never got into it, but I was the editor of it for a little while. I was also one of the people working on some of the other story-based contests on the site for a while, until a year ago, 2 years ago. Time is wibbly wobbly. But and I think that really helped be able to see what fans truly love about Neopets and the things that call to them the most. And I tried my best to really bring what I learned from that into this story and future stories.
Amazing. Yeah, I mean, the Neopian Times is like one of the most iconic elements of the game, where where I see that interaction between a TNT and the players, especially the editorial, as we all know. So, just kind of like getting some of that, or I'll call it, is it's good. It's nice. I've got one more question, and I'm gonna forget if I don't say this now. If all of you, for the folks that were picked for these Q&As, each of you will receive a Thalia charm. Someone yell at me if that was the wrong item, but I'm like 99% sure that's right. So thank you so much for contributing. So here is the last question. Coming from Con B's question, are there going to be more player interactive comic scenes like puzzles, etc. in the future?
Oh, go on.
I was gonna say I can speak a little bit about that. So I sort of mentioned that we made the like backend system for this kind of reusable. So that's mostly just the hub page, but we don't. I tried to make it as robust and comprehensive, but still versatile as I could, so that if we do want more unique types of player interaction, that we could still have that. Um, because I know it would be extremely boring if every single plot was exactly the same. And there have been very fun and unique ways that plots were presented in the past. So I do want to, I guess, emphasize that the hub itself is mainly the reusable portion. So like the comics will probably be in the same place, the with the banner art on the homepage and then the battle tab and rewards, like all of that will probably be the same for future plots, but we do want to still try to think out of the box where we can and make things fun and enjoyable for people. I know we did get a lot of feedback about there not being enough puzzles, so we tried to add some more of those in as we got that feedback and developed more. As we had the pauses, we had time to rework some of the stuff and account for more of that. But yes, that's definitely something I think we could put more planning and thought into for future plots, hopefully. If you want to add anything, Aesop?
I definitely agree with you. I think like going forward, it's something we want to do more of, and if anything, like this was a really good test run of it right here, proving that like it is doable. And like you said, Dingo, you've already kind of got some of the setup, so maybe not the exact same thing, but we can try to experiment with some different direct like activities with the comics. I think we had discussed and potentially planned another one for later on for the plot, but I think that was one of the things that did get cut. So I don't know if I can promise we're going to have another cool interactive part like that. But I really do think, like I've said, this has been a learning experience for our team. And if that's something that players are engaged in, and it did seem like quite a few people were excited about that thing, maybe not exactly jigsaw puzzles every time, but I do think that type of engagement and like being able to be more involved in the story directly is something we'd really love to incorporate more in the future.
Wow. Amazing answers from all of you across the board. Everyone give yourselves a round of applause.
Woo!
Yay!
Thank you so much.
Well, thank you to everyone for answering those wonderful questions. And for those of you who submitted questions, guess what? You will be getting, what is it here? The Bailey Charm. Is that right? Did I say that right?
I think so.
I think
Well,
you got it.
There you go.
I guess that's the correct try or the correct prize. Yes. I don't know what we decided. I don't remember.
I think that's what it says here in my notes. So, anyways, thanks so much for joining us for this segment, the lore slumber party, tea time. What are we calling it? Anyways, yeah.
Thanks for having us.
We'll see you in the next segment. Thanks for joining
Thank
us,
you.
Kevin.
Woo.
Thank you.
Bye.
Bye.
That was so much fun. Guys, we'll be right back with our next segment. Stay tuned. All right, and we are all ready to go for the next Drawing the Darkness segment. Let's go ahead and introduce our fellow artists in here. Why don't you guys go around and introduce yourselves?
Hello. Hi, folks. I'm Clammyhand, TNT Clammyhand. I've never been on a stream before, so be very kind to me. But I'm an art lead on Neopets. I've been working on it since 2020. So I help out facilitate art stuff and good time. So yeah, I'll toss it to TNT Fae.
Hello, I am TNT Fae. I've been on a couple of small streams before and at Comic-Cons. But I do art things and art related things. And that's it. Get him, weirdo.
I got him. Everybody, I'm the biggest Pizzaroo customer.
Oh man.
Anyway, I've been working with Neopets on and off since like 2013. Doing a little bit of everything, but right now I'm like the lead Void comic layout artist for everybody. So when I sketch out the sketchouts and work with narrative, I pass it on to other artists, such as my good buddy. I'm gonna screw up this name, Goatee Wrangler.
Yep, that's you did great job. Yeah, I've been working on Neopets since Fluffy Dog was originally Fluffy Dog, and working on Island Builders, and then once we became kind of part of the big Neopets family officially, then I got the honor of working on some comics and illustrations for the plot. And yeah, it's been a blast. But I don't know who I throw to now.
Right on. Yeah, we're a little bit more freeform than the last segment that you guys saw, where we have things that we want to talk about, but I guess we're going to throw it to ourselves and everything. So I can ask the first question to get us started, if that helps. Josh, can you walk us through how a plot comic page goes from script to story beat to final artwork?
Oh, why I can. Clammy hands.
Oh.
We had a little video. I don't know.
Oh
if
yeah,
anybody
how do
can
we
share it?
I do. I'll be able to play the video.
Voice of God.
God,
is that you?
I did not prep it.
Anyway, I'll start. We're gonna give big props to the narrative team. We wouldn't be able to draw anything if it wasn't for them. think of cool ideas and stuff for us. They are the answers to everything we have. We're just pencil pushers, and these guys know everything and everything. So for the comics, I usually begin thumbnail sketches for the entire chapter that we have. I experiment with the layouts, the looks of things. The speech bubbles are really important, actually, to make sure it gets that dialogue off to everything. And then we go back and forth with the narrative team and lay it and make sure that it's what they were thinking, match the visuals that we had in mind. So there's a lot of collaboration in those processes. A lot of it's just world building and brainstorming. Every chapter kind of has something that we have never seen in Neopets before, so we have to like think of something new and clever, like what does these cave puzzles look like? What does, I don't know, what does this new character look like? We keep throwing in some new stuff, so it's always a fun challenge to play around with that stuff like that. And once the storyboard phase is approved, we tighten up the layouts. I prepare everything that hand off to other people, like Goody writer here, Wrangler. I'm writer. Wrangler here. He's a big person that we work with collaboration, and he finishes up the final art and stuff like that. So, Clammyhand and I both supervise the final art. We have a good team of great team of artists that we hand off things to and get the final art for. So in this little video, you can see some of my sketches from really early thumbnail drafts just to get things in place, tighten up that sketch. There's a guide, an art style guide that we have to create. So when we pass off the stuff to the new artists to finalize stuff, they don't know what exactly we want to include. So I got to make all the model sheets and everything like that. So it's a big process. And then the final art, you can see there's a lot of steps of laying down flat colors, shading things, and then building it all up. And then gotta get it back once it's all done, get it back to us, and we gotta like build it out and animate and like programming it. So when you roll over those panels, that sometimes the panels will change a whole different like position or effect, and that a lot of those comics give you your prize. So you got to make sure you roll over all those things so it all works out for everything. So it's there's some technical stuff that goes in there. It's not all arts and funny stuff. So that's great. What we got here? Oh, we did all that stuff. Blah 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 blah. Hey, Goody Wrangler.
Yeah.
What's up?
Before
I'm so
Good.
scared right now.
What's he gonna say?
Oh, before we continue, I'm sorry to interrupt. Before we continue, I just want to let everyone know in the chat. Make sure to submit your questions because we will be picking some of them. And for this segment, all the questions that will be picked will give you a Void paintbrush. So make sure to submit those so we can ask them your questions.
Amazing.
Yep.
Wowie.
I wish I had a Void paintbrush. That's what I wish.
You're not tired of the void yet?
No.
Hmm.
We love it. We love it. Oh well, yeah. I was gonna ask, like, what do you guys think? Like, what do we have the most creative freedom in to do? We pretty much have control of everything, but what's some of the creative stuff that we have to like get to play around with a lot?
Well, I know for doing the comic pages, the part I like the best is, coming from animation background, I like the working on posing and that. And you always provide really good like baseline poses to build off of. And then I always try and put my spin on it. And that's my favorite part of that. You can create that extra bit of storytelling with the posing. So that's where I try and get my 2 bits in.
Yeah, I do pretty crude, a cool pose or as best as I can, and then the other artists, they really push it to extreme and make it as cool as possible, as you guys see on the website and stuff like that.
Yeah.
All right.
Hey,
So
Marsh.
I'm so.
We'll take it from here.
Very well.
We don't need a host for the last 3 brain cells. We'll get it together.
Take a break. Hey, March. When we're
Yeah.
drawing new characters for the plot, there's a lot of new characters and stuff like that too. They're not just all these old these favorites. What's some new characters stuff you can? How's it look like? What can you tell us about that?
So for the plot, we had to make new characters. We did want to pay homage to some old characters that we wanted to incorporate into the plot, but very early on, like what is it, like 2 years ago, Fae and Weirdough, like that we started to design one of the principal characters, Nyx.
3.
3 years ago.
Wow.
Yeah, it's
Yep.
getting, time is blowing by real fast. I think Nyx at the very beginning had a much like broader role in like the branding and everything. But primarily we were going to use Nyx for the plot. So we had to design a new character. We try to, it's always a collaborative process. So like even if like the art team isn't responsible for this, for like designing a character, narrative is right there. They usually provide some kind of like write-up, some kind of report, a dossier on the character telling us like, you know, what are their pronouns, what do they look like, you know, what species is it going to be, and stuff. They do like a whole write-up that explains everything, and then we kind of take it from there. So even though like I said, even though one artist is responsible for carrying it through, it's very, very collaborative, where there's a bunch of people that are chiming in and giving feedback, so no one person can dominate the whole thing. When I'm designing characters, when we were designing Nyx, when they give that dossier sheet, I kind of focus on doing at least one kind of bust drawing of a character so we can see like the visuals of it, kind of get a feel for it. Just one drawing that seems to gel with everyone, and then once we decide, oh, that's the character and stuff, then we can go in and like kind of tweak the costuming, the hairstyle, everything that needs to be like involved with that. I think we have a picture, right? Is it showing a picture?
Tis up
Yes,
on the
it is.
screen
Okay.
currently.
Yay. Yay. Let me switch so
All
I
the
can see
colorways
this.
of Nyx. It's
Tom-
crazy thinking. It was really difficult to decide what like paintbrush color she was going to be, like very
Oh, yeah.
early on. So we like explored like pinkish, like shadowish, and then base bluish ended up being.
Oh, the yellow pink. Ugh.
Yeah,
I kind of like them all. They were all kind of nice and stuff. Like there's a reason why those color combos are there, and we kind of elected which one was going to work and stuff. Are you able to zoom in, Bobby?
Yeah, absolutely.
Can you zoom
Enhance.
into the white portion of it? Those 3 characters that are there. Oh my gosh.
The hairstyles.
The
Those
So
hairstyles.
like Jake.
yeah, there you go. Oh my gosh, it's working. It's working. No. We're
Oh my god, I'm going
we're
to
zooming in. We're zooming in. So that was these specific designs is very, very early on. You can see we're playing with like different hairstyles with Nyx. There's a scar in one of them, different costuming too, to see what feels right. And like I said, this process is constantly shown to the narrative team, to the other artists. We kind of see like what works, what seems like it works for the character's personality and stuff. The ones that are beneath that are what we were talking about, just color passes. Once we start to finalize, it's not even the right costume. It's not the same costume as the Nyx that we see now, but they're different color passes to see what vibes well. Even like playing on this with the void coloring. TNT Fae can talk about that because she pretty much invented the void look and everything. But and then to the right is the story phases of Nyx. We're thinking of Nyx over time through lore, because she definitely starts out, you know, like kind of like a poor outcast in Neopia Central, and then like gets a job in Virtue Pets.
Pants look.
It's on the right side. There we go.
Yeah.
Sweatpants. Gets a job at Virtue Pets Delivery, and then when she's surviving, this is a very early design of like what she would be like surviving in the void by herself with a makeshift void dampener and everything. All these little things come together, and eventually, you know, through collaborative process, kind of finalize what Nyx is, and that's the one that's on the far left. That's the design that we went with. I think it's pretty cool. She has a clean silhouette. All these things are important when we're thinking about.
She might even get some new outfits. You never know.
Oh no, new outfits. New outfits, but yeah. Like I said, it's always very collaborative. You know, it's not just one person designing it. It's like a whole group and everything. There are a couple follow-up questions here. That were, what sort of things do we need to consider when designing a Neopets character? 100% it would be species individuality, especially with these like anthropomorphic character versions. Because so much of the time it can look cookie cutter. So if we're making them look as unique as possible, giving them hairstyles, in this case, Nyx has open eyes, which is abnormal for an Asia. She has like a cool hairstyle, very clean look, but there are things about her that just look and feel different. I feel like hair is doing the most heavy lifting here, but definitely making them feel very, very individual. And then there's another question here, and I'm going to ask you guys about this too, but it's what's your favorite character to draw and why? I have two answers for this. I'm going to toss it to you guys too. For the Void Within, it's definitely Nyx to draw because there's so much like action stuff that we can do with her. But for outside of the plot, I think my favorite character to draw was that Monty character that we made for the Fairy Festival in 2023. That like kind of like tycoon guy. Van de Geyer character. I really like
Monty McTaggart.
Yeah. Internally, we call him
Doug
Big Al.
Dimmadome
Yeah, Doug Dimmadome.
is what we were calling him while we were designing him, giving him a bigger and bigger and bigger hat.
Yeah. What about your favorite characters, Fae?
I think mine's a little biased, but mine is probably any little guys. So Judy, Styx, just any little dudes. Literally it. That's literally it. What about you, Weirdough?
I didn't get to design anybody really, but drawing the comics so much, it comes second nature to draw Nyx. Ozzy, he's a complicated character to draw. He's very like hairy and wears that big flowing coat and stuff like that. He's my least favorite to block out, but I do love drawing your Junie and Styx because you design both those characters for the plot, and they're really fun and they're really simple characters to draw. Big heads, little bodies, stuff like that. What about you, Wrangler?
Yeah, for the plot characters, I also like Nyx a lot. I think she's got a good build for like an action poses, and really like that. And then I think I like Drakara a lot because she's kind of very dramatic, and so we're able to get some dramatic posing. And
Vera. Sorry, Vera is a favorite one to draw. She's
feisty,
a hothead,
sassy,
the feisty little one. So
yeah, it's pretty cool.
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
Well,
honestly, Junie's probably my least favorite just because of all the layers of void, all of like void at different poses and stuff like that. But yeah,
that's something we should probably talk about as well too, because like the left side of Nyx is all voided out, and TNT Fae is responsible for unleashing this curse upon us for the last couple of years. But the void is a very
not sorry.
I'm
not sorry.
No, it looks really, really cool.
Yeah, I guess I can yap about this a little bit. And I've seen a couple of like questions, comments in the chat about like what program we use to draw with. So this is the void and gradients and glowing looks like it's all fun and games until you try to vectorize it in Adobe Animate, formerly known as Adobe Flash, no longer supported by anything in the entire world. Doing simple things like gradients or like even cute, fun like nebula starry effects is it's a feat. It takes a bit to do. So I had a little bit too much fun concepting like Junie and the void paint brushes and stuff like that in Photoshop, and then it was up to Clammyhand and Weirdough and Cody Wrangler to continue to render that, and now my whole team has to render that in vector. So I'm sorry, but I'm also not sorry because it looks kind of cool, and it's that's about it. It was really just space theme. I've been a long-term Neopets friend, so the thought process was just kind of like, what if like Wraith met Dimensional met Eventide and then had a beautiful purple glowing child creature, and that's what happened. That's what happened.
Was there I forget, it's been so long. Was there a Void paintbrush or Void looks beforehand, or was this all brand new stuff that we had to think of?
The only thing that existed previously was a Void neg from like 6 Festival of Negs ago, and
Wow.
that was kind of really it. So we kind of established the Void out together. But I mean, it's really just space. It's just space.
Space.
It's just heck in space.
Cool space.
What about Styx? Styx was already an existing character, right? Doggo
No,
Foxes were,
Styx.
so
Well, Doggo Foxes, yeah, Doggo Foxes. I guess I could talk a little bit about Styx, because like Styx and Junie were pretty simple, and the prompt was draw, because I guess similar to Nyx, Junie also was going to have a different purpose than being a main character of the plot. He was supposed to be like some sort of little, just very visual, almost like mascot, some that the brand can use sometimes. So he had to be simple, but also like kind of like Pikachu for Pokemon. Like you could see a Pikachu. He's got like a couple of like unique designs across some of the different products and stuff. So it was kind of like keep it simple, make it look like a Fae, but give it a little something. I didn't share photos of the like concept art, but it was basically like maybe we give Junie like one eye, maybe we give Junie one wing. Like there was a bunch of different small things that were proposed to be added to Junie to kind of set him apart as like an actual Fae like character and not just a little guy. But the notch in the ear and then his little costume ended up being the thing that kind of set him apart. Styx is just a feral rat. Styx
Kind of how they find him too.
Styx kind of just got lost in the woods, and that's
so you were
really
happy
it.
when we made him all gray, right? When we
No,
knocked him out
it
there.
did. It did make me kind of sad to draw him really sad, but knowing that he finds his little happy people.
When I first read that in the comics and I had to draw him like, he breaking free from the void bubble and then running to Ozzy to like, oh my dad. And then like
yeah, I didn't think his own father was gonna decimate him. I didn't know that.
I'm
was
like,
gonna happen.
I don't want to draw a dead dog or something. It was not, but
he's just depressed.
He's
He'll
not
make
dead.
it.
Yeah, he's just great.
Well, at the time, people didn't know.
That's true. That's true. They did not.
I think one of my favorite little communications within the team, Josh, I was drawing Styx, and he's been like, partially grayed out. And then I asked you, should I make him fully grayed out, or should we give him a little hope? You just responded, give him some hope.
Give him some hope.
I think he's fully gray now, so.
Yeah. So that's gone. Yeah.
Like Faye was talking about, like that little notch in Junie's ear. While it looks cool and it's an awesome character design, when you're drawing a comics and you're trying to wrangle all this stuff in, and somebody puts on the wrong side of the ear or forgets it, I'm like, oh, the users are going to notice this so bad. So
We've done it now. Now you've just drawn a regular Fae. Where did Junie go?
It traumatized
Is it missing
me
its
when I had
wings?
to look at people.
Is it missing its tail?
Does it
Those
have
are the
4
easy
legs
ones.
and eyes?
Yeah.
Tavi's the hard one because Tavi has like the little braid.
Yeah,
She
little
has
braid
like
on her foot.
her foot was missing. Again, another thing that to draw her losing her leg, that hurt too. So stop killing people. I blame Aesop over there.
It is
He's
Aesop's
listening.
fault, yeah. Although
he's a
secretly,
sick mind. Sick mind. Filthy.
Just high stakes.
Anyway. Yeah. So we've been drawing the comic for so long. Do you guys have a favorite panel that you had to draw or you seen that stands out in your mind? There's been anybody.
I do. I have 2 of them. One we haven't seen yet, but the other one is literally what you guys are talking about. My favorite panel that I drew was
which one? Which one have we seen yet?
That we haven't seen?
Yeah, safe space. Right?
It's a meme. Don't fall for it.
I ain't falling into that. No. I forgot the one. No, it's when Baelia and Luxinia are holding Ozzy, who has just
He's
blasted.
murdered Styx.
Yeah, he's just blasted Styx. But the way that it's like laid out and everything, it's like a cool. It's almost like a poster or something like that. But that's my favorite panel that at least that I've done. The another one that I did was the silhouette of Altidore chopping off the head of that Saphira. That was fun to do, but it's a silhouette, so it was fine. But yeah, what about you guys?
I'm gonna chime in very quickly because I haven't worked on a single comic. Spoiler alert! I'm not touching comics. Sorry, guys. But I was also gonna say that scene with everybody holding Ozzy and Styx, just because it feels very emotional and like it evoked emotions in me. And that's not because I'm Styx's adopted mother, but because it just like you kind of feel the weight of you can feel the weight of how Ozzy feels the weight of what he's done, and
Yeah.
it's like when you accidentally like kick your pet when they walk in front of you and you're like, "Oh my god, I've committed the actual worst crime, like I deserve prison for the rest of my life." Like except Ozzy felt that times 100. So it's like I can really relate to that cuz my pets are my babies. So, yeah.
My babies.
Yeah, I really liked working on the page with Fiora falling, Jakara with that big, the page was fun and really dramatic and big moment. So that was fun. And then I also liked it, just the battle scenes, you know, cutting void creatures in half and such. That was all fun.
Yeah, I like those two.
What was yours, Weirdough?
The full page like spreads are really fun and really challenging to get a big description of stuff and try to compile it in that stuff. I remember drawing that one that Wrangler did with the Fura falling down and like the little things and trying to get that angle right and stuff like that. And he did a great job of building that. I don't know. I like hiding little secrets, not a lot of secrets, but little things in the background. Like there's that one page, like the Shop Wizard, he's floating away in the back. Like I just throw those in there, and then Aesop and the narrative laugh at that, and they're like, "Well, I guess we'll put that in there." Like little things. Like it's surprising how many characters are in this plot. Like
yeah,
pretty much every species has been in there, and almost every character and stuff like that. So, yeah, I don't know. I looked back to the earlier chapters that we drew this morning, and I'm like, ugh. We didn't know what we were in for at the time and stuff like that. So, yeah, but some of my favorite comics are coming up. There's some really crazy things, and I hope you guys are sticking around for it. I'm really happy.
Yeah, would you guys like to transition over to the drawing and Q&A?
Yeah, we can draw and talk.
Yeah, I guess. We made a little intro drawing thing.
I see that.
We made a splash page.
It looks so good. Oh, Sloth is kind of covered up there.
That's fine. That's for the best. It's for the best, honestly.
I see you guys have been busy this entire time. That's fantastic.
Always got to doodle if there's opportunity.
Yeah. Are you gonna start on the blank canvas here?
Yeah, we have a new.
We can turn off
canvas
our layers too.
No, I made a second canvas for us to draw on.
Oh,
where?
Excellent. So we're doing
it's on the bottom.
So we're doing a draw from memory, right? Is that what we're doing?
Yeah.
Wait, what do you mean at the bottom? At the bottom where?
There's
at the bottom there's a little sequence panel thingy. Click it, and then there's the layers.
Boom,
yeah, magical. Let's go. All right,
old man.
Yeah.
Found it.
This is a fun little thing that, you know, the days you can't draw, you try really hard, you cannot draw. So we try to warm up by trying to draw a silly character from memory. Usually it's not a Neopets character. Usually it's like, hey, can you remember what SpongeBob looks like? And then you try to draw SpongeBob and you're like, does he have socks? So that's
All right.
our.
Well, why don't we get started? And I guess I'll kind of pick who for you guys to draw. Let's see. Where's some good plot related? You know, we talked about Junie. I'm gonna try to draw Junie from memory.
Oh.
Should we all try to draw the same character from memory? I feel like
I think that would be fun to compare. It's up to you guys.
Okay.
Do we win a prize?
Claim your corner. I guess I'll be up here.
And while you're drawing that, we do have a few questions here. One of them you guys actually kind of answered in the previous segment. It Meow said, "What's been the most challenging part, character, individual panel to bring to life?"
Oh man.
Have you guys seen that King Altador's and his cute little legs?
Look, he's trying his best.
That's my bad. Sorry, guys. I made up for it. I gave you a sweet advent calendar animated GIF. So turn water into wine.
That was pretty fantastic. I love that advent calendar.
I fear I've drawn Yoda. I need to go back.
Yoda.
Don't. I can only control Z so much. Oh no.
It was.
Look how slow these guys draw. This is what I had to live.
It was the most difficult. The most difficult thing to draw. The difficult character.
Let me see if I can.
Panel to draw? Because I'm gonna say anything but Vosivus. Vosivus is a very large being, very detailed.
One of the panels I did where the chamber's filling with water, and I didn't have to, but I got a little carried away and then overcommitted, and then I was drawing like partially filled panel with water and some light underneath it and stuff, and yeah, that was a lot of work.
Those cave systems were tough. They were tough ones because we had to like concept a lot of that stuff on the fly while we're in the heart of it. I remember drawing me and Aesop, we sat down and we drew a map of like how would these cave systems work and like what's this room, and oh no, we see Luperus. It pops up. We're like, oh, let's draw another crazy character. Why not?
I don't know if there's a way. Oh, okay. I see you guys are like outlining it. Okay, perfect. It's it's a little bit tough to see. What you guys drawing out, but if you're outlining it, that's perfect. I love the Junie on the bottom left here. Let me try to move it so everybody else can see.
He's thinking.
It's getting kind of covered there, but let's see. Oh, you know what I could do?
Thinking.
Wait, let's do this.
Oh, I can move it. Here, I can move it. I know you're talking to me. Here, watch.
Oh, perfect. That works.
Is that better?
That is a little bit better, yeah. Oh my goodness, I'm covering up one of the... Okay, I gotta hide. I'm hiding myself now. Goodbye, chat.
Wrangler, you move over.
I will still be here.
Over. Okay.
Oh, I see. Yeah.
Here, I'll put a guide spaces for anybody.
Oh,
there you go.
Green. Don't touch the green.
There we go.
Here, I'll put myself up here. There we go. Excellent. Okay, now we can see everything. All right, perfect. Did you see this bottom right masterpiece? Yeah. I gotcha. Oh, all right, we got a few more questions here. Ash Kestrel said, "Do you ever fight over who gets to draw the coolest pages?"
Oh.
Clammyhand just steals them all.
No, I do not. I do not. I do try to handle ones that are maybe more complex than what other people are comfortable drawing and stuff. Especially if it's like something related to maybe something I designed or whatever. But but I try not. Most of the time, I'm not drawing any comics and everything. But yeah, no, we don't really fight about it. It's kind of a matter of who's available to work on it at that time, almost.
Mm-hmm.
We also know,
Right?
we also know each other's strengths. Like some people are better with certain characters and things. So no fighting.
Yeah,
Right
I'd
on.
say like for the most part, most of us have pretty different like preferences in terms of like favorite things to draw. So it actually meshes really well.
No, that's awesome to hear. That you guys can kind of take agency over like what part of it you draw. I think that's really cool.
We have fought over the Battle Dome opponents, haven't we?
Yeah, I did say that
you want the big doggy.
nobody else could draw the Blighthound except for me. Like I was ready to bite somebody over that dog, so that was I think pretty much the only one I really fought over was getting to draw
And
the Blighthound.
I wanted the space fungus because that's more my speed. So
Full of belly buttons.
Too many belly buttons.
Too many belly buttons.
what else you got for us?
All right, here's one. Corvus said, "What helps you best to keep a consistent style between pages, chapters, and additional assets when multiple artists work on the same project?"
I have a whole section about this to talk about, but I can chime in about this, and then if you guys want to add anything, you can add anything.
Can I say the true answer first, real quick?
Go for it.
15 Red Bulls. All right, go ahead.
It is a very difficult task, and I feel like we learned a lot as like time went on with the plot. But we have a crazy schedule when we release the actual plot that we have to keep up with, and sometimes it's just there's so many people that are on it. I don't want to say so many people, but there's enough people that are on it. It's kind of like juggling a whole bunch of balls or too many irons in the fire and stuff. I feel like early on, we didn't have so much crazy coverage of every character. So when we have to draw like Nyx in an action pose where we're looking at her from like the bottom upwards and stuff, we don't have a reference for that. So it's like the artist has to kind of figure it out. Model sheets for characters that we created that are new, we have those a little bit more so than we do for characters that we're reusing from the past. And then as time progressed, we have way more character coverage for every character, every principal character of the plot. So when somebody grabs a new comic now and they're like, how do I draw Luxinia from this angle? Here's the reference for that. Here it is from several other comic pages where we have examples of that. So we're able to keep it a little bit more on model now at the tail end of the plot than we were at the beginning. At the beginning, we were just moving very fast, trying to design multiple aspects of it. So I don't think we had the right amount of support coverage. And we've also streamlined like our review pipeline as well too. So we're a little bit more on top of it, where we are given better feedback. I feel like the whole process is a lot better. But yeah, it's a very, very difficult task. And like what they were saying as well too. Different people have different like strengths and specialities, and sometimes the person that maybe has a proclivity from drawing like a fairy character but doesn't really feel comfortable drawing creature characters, they might be given a comic where it's like they have to draw both and everything. So we have to just step in and just give as much feedback as possible for where they feel uncomfortable. Most of the people that are working on the comics or anything involving the plot, they're generals. They know a little bit about everything, so we're able to like with a small team cover so much ground. But to fill in those gaps where like proficiencies might not be 100% and everything, that's where the senior artists jump in to provide that extra feedback. But yeah, it's gotten a lot better, I feel. How do you guys feel about it?
Yeah, there's always lots of so like when working on a page, then we always get a nice brief, and it has lots of reference, lots of previous pages people have done, and the model sheets. So there's always lots of reference to draw from, and so it could be a challenge just because of the perhaps like the pace working at, or some of the really hectic pages have like 20 poses on it, 20 different kind of character poses. So working at that pace can be careful not to be too short-handy about it and stick to that. Keep referring to the reference material, but it's always provided to us. So, okay.
Yeah, very awesome. I'm just looking at these Junies, and they are incredible. I like the Knicks there too. Chat, do you guys have any requests on who to draw next? Should we draw one more person? I believe we have another question as well. A couple more questions. We'll have to do like a speed round.
I saw a question somebody that caught my eye about like what we really talked about the fairies. We were talking about like Junie and Nyx and stuff like that, but the fairies they're kind of tough. They're human proportions and stuff like that, and you gotta like mix like goofy characters like this with like actual human anatomy. So it's a hard balance sometimes when you have like 5-6 characters in a page and stuff like that.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, for sure.
I'm seeing. Sorry.
Faces. I was gonna say those really pretty faces, like one line in the wrong spot or a little too heavy, and they look tired, and yeah, it could be.
They're #unrealistic body standards.
Yes.
little 2 pixel inch waist.
Where does those wings come from?
Don't think too hard about it.
So we try not to draw like the backs of them. It's like I don't know where these things are attached to.
How do they attach?
Do they have little cutouts in their dresses? Mm?
So I'm getting a lot of people said Cass. A lot of people said Tall Tidor, Daddy Altidore, Cass with long legs. What are we talking about?
Combining
Drakara,
the memes.
Fiora, Vera. I don't know. A lot of people.
Fiora alive?
Alive? I mean, she just fell.
Fiora's not alive anymore.
Fell a little bit.
She fell like a little bit. Yeah.
She's probably fine.
Yeah. I don't. A lot of people. You guys want to do Cass? You try to do Cass from.
He's on the plot.
That's true.
But
that's true.
But he is Father Cass.
Sure.
Who drew such a big Junie? I really didn't give myself any space to draw Cass.
We gotta draw him in the remaining space.
I don't know. We could start a new board, but
I'm just drawing a doodle of him.
We're just doodling.
Can I draw Chibi Cass?
Well, while you all draw your Lord Casses, here's a question from Noilsor. Are there any characters that you had to cut for time / content that you wish you'd been able to keep in the plot?
That's not I don't think a question we really know. I'm trying to rip my head through it.
Yeah, if it happened,
I kind of have an answer for that. We didn't even get to them, but there were going to possibly be more Battledome characters, which would have been more really fun, like characters, creatures to design, and unfortunately, some of those had to go. But I guess we can't miss them because we don't know what they were.
Yeah, I hope you guys enjoyed the Battledomes. I'd never really played Battledome beforehand, and now I love it. We gotta make a lot, knock on wood, make a lot more.
Right on.
We didn't show any Battledome stuff, I'm surprised. It'd be fun to do like a lineup, like how like the different hit poses and stuff are, because those go by so fast. Like maybe 10 frames.
Yeah, I included some Blighthound art in my flame, but yeah, they are a little. I've unmanned Cass. I'm sorry. Clammy,
he's back to baby
form.
Like a Muppet.
He's back to baby
I
form.
know. It's
It
really
is what
making
it
me
is.
happy.
We need to ask the Shop Wizard if he can call his other puppet friends that are like plot related
Mm.
to join his party.
And to Sam the Eagle.
USA.
Apparently, there are people drawing with us in the Neocord, and this is just fantastic. I'll just send this screenshot. I'm gonna post on here. Let me get it. Let me get it in there.
I love seeing fan art. So whenever you guys post it, especially when Neopets reposts it, I love checking it out and stuff like that.
Yeah, just know any art I've ever seen of Junie is saved to my hard drive. So thanks, guys. Thanks for feeding me.
Thank you, Onion, for these very long legs.
Oh, leggy boy.
Too short. Too short.
I've just drawn a Darrigan Eerie with a braid. It is what it is. Whatever, man.
Yeah, these Kazas are looking sick. I love the one on the top left there. Oh, it looks so menacing.
Oh, he's gumpy.
Menacing.
I can't really remember what his
He is menacing.
what his mane looks like. Is it scraggly?
It's big and it turns into hair and then there's a braid and that's all I know.
Oh.
Yeah, doesn't it come out like around his front side too?
In some art it does.
He's also old too, right? He's got to be like 60 years old or something.
He's really old, eh?
He ages towards
Range lines.
Leave him alone. He's a war-torn veteran.
All right, I got one more question from Cat Dog Dog. Cat Dog Dog asks, did you guys have some alt armor designs for Battle Vera?
Ooh, that's a weirdo question.
I don't.
Because you did the armor for.
know. That was kind of like the first thing I put together. Let me open up the archives.
Archive.
The archives.
I feel like it was probably a situation too where we're going fast, so there's no time to like.
There's the same time when Ozzy he changed his outfit from what his like
Yeah.
duster to like his shoulder pad and his cape. I was just trying to think of something like Fan of the Opera with like his mask is like a paint palette. If you guys look at it, looking for that little paint palette eye, so it adds more paint backstory to him and stuff like that.
I just want to say, I think the armor on Vera in her current iteration is fantastic. I love it so much.
That's the purple armor that she has.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Vera, this is a bit of a tangent. Vera was actually a very interesting character to bring into the plot because I'm sure some people in the chat know what she looked like before we brought her back to the plot, and she kind of lost a lot of her little impish essence when she became short and stout. And we had to like have a whole discussion about like, oh, are we going to keep this version of Vera or are we going to go back to like what Vera looked like before her little revamp? And we all unanimously agreed. We liked her way more before her short and stout.
Yeah, because we first saw her back in the Fairy Fest in 2023. I was looking, and the only reference we had was like the older style, and I'm like, how can we improve? If you look at Jakaria at the time, like I wasn't sure. They're like, just she's wearing gloves, so I'm like, okay, here's the gloves. And now we've had some more time to refine what she looks like in our current phase, so it's definitely a little different. So we'll just say time. She bought some new clothes. I don't know. No, I'm looking at the files right now. That was like the first thing I did. I don't know why. I was thinking like kid's Halloween costume. It looks like looking
think-
back.
I remember that you had the concept for her, and I think I drew one of the first comics that she was in, where it's like her and Ozzy at the front of the like the Void Army about to attack Altador. Yeah, I feel like it was like literally, here's the concept, it looks good, move forward. You know what's crazy to draw on her? It doesn't even seem like a big deal, but her helmet and how it fits around the top of her head is actually kind of difficult to figure out sometimes.
She do got a big old head.
Yeah.
Full of thoughts. Full of evil little thoughts.
All right. With that, I think we're at the end of the segment. Thank you guys for coming on and hanging out, talking about the artist process, drawing these amazing Junies and Lord Cass, who's not even in the plot. And
She's always in our hearts and minds, though.
Yeah. I don't know. That was the most I've seen of everyone wanted to draw. So and I like the Vera at the bottom left corner, or bottom right corner too.
I don't want to say everything, but if you guys look back, there's a certain weapon in the plot I know some of you guys know that might allude to something coming up. So
Ooh, look at that
caps.
Chat,
clever eye.
What are your? Let me know what you guys think. But thank you all for coming to hang on. Up next, we have a Pipapeep cameo. And then followed by the TCG segment, where I'll be on there with Bobby Coovert and FerWanwan. So thank you all for hanging out, and stay tuned. Check out this cameo video.
It's time for a Pipapeep floor report here at the Licensing Expo in Las Vegas. Yippee! Me and my peeps saw hundreds of cute little plushies. Look at all of them. I think by far the Neopets booth is a personal favorite of ours. I mean, look at all of this. Look at this fantastic display. There's plushies, trading cards, pajamas, you name it. There were so many things, and we stood there for a really long time just looking at all the beautiful Neopet colors. The hype is absolutely real here at the expo. It is amazing to see Neopets thrive in this way. I mean, just look at all these amazing things, and we can't wait to have our meeting tomorrow with Dom. This has been a Pipapeep floor report here in Las Vegas at the Licensing Expo. We hope to see more Neopets projects. I can't peep and wait. Peep!
Hey, Neopets.
Can you do it? Woohoo!
All right, everyone. We are going to jump into the TCG segment. Thank you again, Pipapeep, for the cameo there from the Licensing Expo. Who else is really excited for that green Oosel? Hello? How do I get one of those? Anyway, let's jump right into it. Hello? Hello? What is going on? We have Bobby and we have FerWanwan. How are you two doing? It's so exciting to have you here on stream.
So happy to be here. It's been a while, Neopets community. I'm happy to be here.
It has been a while.
Thank you for having me here.
Yeah, this is so exciting. As some people know, one of my biggest hyperfixations right now, one of my favorite things is the Neopets Battle TCG, so I'm really excited to have this segment here. But for those who don't know, why don't you two introduce yourselves?
Sure. My name's Bobby Coovert. I'm the game designer and creator of Neopets Battledome trading card game, and I'm also a big Neopets fan. Go ahead, Fer.
Okay, I'm Fer, mostly known as FerWanwan. I'm the artist for some of the cards for the TCG. I'm sorry for my English, it's not the best, but I'm having fun.
Oh my goodness, I can see from the chat, everyone is so excited you're here, Fer. You seem to have a lot of fans, and I have to agree. Like, your work is incredible.
Absolutely deserves it.
Right on. So we do have something fun. I'm going to show off some of the cards from the TCG, and then we're gonna kind of just like talk about we're gonna kind of talk about just stuff about it. And Bobby, I have a question for you. For those who are new to the Neopets battle in TCG, how would you explain the game in 1 minute?
Not prepared for that. Okay. Well, think of it as it is the Battle Dome on the website adjacent. So you have your main character, which is a Neopet, and you're fighting against your opponent's Neopet in a best out of 3 battle. You're equipping your Neopet with equipment, calling in the aid of fairies and legends, and then eating food and taking potions to be able to gain your advantage. And the best part about it is you're rolling a bunch of dice. It's a lot of fun. A lot of stuff to keep your hands busy while you're playing and keep you engaged. And it's it's very different than any other TCG you probably ever played before. And it's it's cool. It's a lot of fun. It's as a fan of Neopets, and my account's 22 and a half years old. I just checked.
Jeez.
I tried my best to encapsulate the feeling of the Battle Dome within the cards.
Right on. Oh, I'm hearing myself. Hello? Why am I hearing myself? Maybe I turned something on by accident. Chat, do you hear double of me? I don't know. Oh, I figured it out. Okay, we're good. We're good. It was my phone picking up my audio. Excellent. Yeah, so that's a good way of describing it. I mean, it is really a lot of fun. I'm a big fan of it. The gameplay myself, I've delved pretty deep into like the competitive side of it. Yeah, highly recommend anyone to check it out if you haven't already. I do have a lot of like different cards from this set that I do want to show off, as well as I have some packs to open up. So I'm looking forward to doing that. Let's see here. One more question for you. What makes the Void Within expansion distinct from previous Neopets Battle TCG releases?
It's a great question. So the Void Within really focuses on the Void, which is a section of the Neopets, a section of the Battle Dome that wasn't able to be utilized very often. So now we're utilizing it a ton, and you get advantages from stuff being in your Void, and then Void Essence as well, which was a cool addition to the site as well as into the game. And utilizing that Void Essence to be able to do powerful abilities and strong effects and cool combos, utilizing the Void, which we haven't seen before. So I'm excited that we got to jump into the Void and hopefully jump back into there in the future to get even more of this story and plot into the TCG.
Yeah, there are a lot of things that I've noticed that are in the TCG or that are in the browser but didn't make it in the set. So I would love to be able to see those be put in. I'm definitely looking forward to see what else. By the way, big shout outs to the gray painter here. The artist, do you remember the artist who made this? Shameen Athena King, I think.
Yeah, Athena King, yeah.
Shameen made this gray painter. So much aura about this gray painter. It's so incredible. Oh my goodness. I got a question for you. How did you come to be an artist for the Neopets TCG? The Battle Dome TCG.
Okay. I've been drawing Neopets for so long. This is my first beauty contest.
That's cute.
To be honest, I don't know. I wasn't very confident in my artwork, and one day I got an email by Upper Deck, and I was like, "Is this a scam?" It was. It was legit, and I was jumping of happiness. I was like this.
That's so cute.
And then Bobby talked about me on a stream and my cards, and that's when I feel it was real and life changing for me. So thank you so much. And I don't know how I made it there.
You deserve every ounce of
Thank
success
you.
that you're having. You're excellent, excellent.
Absolutely. No, I completely agree. The art just blows me out of the water every time we see new cards. I'm just like, wow, how can the art just keep getting better? And then every set, I don't know what it is. The oozles keep getting better. The art, every new set, the new oozle art is my favorite. I don't know what it is.
The Disney oozles for me. From Champions of Meridel, and then another one coming soon. They're so good.
If we can go into,
but if I can piggyback really quick off of Fern's answer, I can give it from my perspective as well.
Mm-hmm.
I originally found Fur's art on Neopets Nation Facebook.
Oh, okay.
Where they were sharing it there. So for other artists as well, share your art, share your Neopets art, because we look, and that's where we find that artwork. And I'm so happy that Fur was down to work on the TCG. We were really excited when we first saw their artwork, and yeah, just so happy to have them as part of this game.
Thank you.
Yeah. One thing that I really love, I'm going to go back a card here to the Gray Fairy. So, and originally, and I maybe you can confirm if this was like a part of your design philosophy for the Gray Fairy. So we actually just learned that Balia is not her name. Sorry, spoilers for the plot that just came out. If you didn't read it, sorry, too late. But yeah, did you take that into account when you named her the Gray Fairy instead of Balia?
Yeah, so I'm not sure how much I can say about this, but I did. I don't want I had pre-existing information about the plot, of course, and one of those things is that Leah was going to be a dead name, and because of that, I wanted to respect the Grey Fairy's character and make sure not to be dead naming them even in a TCG. So, yeah, that was a big part of it for me.
Right on. No, yeah, it's such a. Looking back at it now, because I was always confused about it, and then I read that when the plot came out this week, and I'm like, oh, that's actually a really cool design choice here for the Gray Fairy. Yeah, I love that. That's awesome. Fer, I got another question for you, actually. What is different about making art for the trading card compared to a poster, comic, or digital illustration?
Okay, the composition must be focused on the character. So I like the characters to be the star. I have to make them a little bigger than usual. Other illustrations are more focused on a story or more multiple characters. So that's the difference.
Right on. Very cool. Bobby, back to you. How did the Upper Deck team approach translating an active Neopets plot into a physical TCG expansion?
This is a great question. I love talking about it. Back, I think it was almost 3 years ago now, or more. When I first was designing the game, I wanted a remove from game zone, and I knew about the book Navigating the Void, and I was like, oh, the Void's kind of a cool name. let's try it. So I talked to TNT Aesop about it, and I was like, hey, I like the name Void for this. What do you think? And he was like, yeah, what a coincidence. We're working on a story. So then I begged and pleaded them for an exclusive paintbrush for the TCG. And that's where we got the Void paintbrush was, I believe, originally designed for the TCG. And a lot of the artwork for those things, of course, came from TNT Fae, but also came from Ash Warner, one of our other artists, who did some concepts for the Void. But translating the story, just a brilliant story that Aesop, or I think his name's known, Dean, that he created this beautiful, beautiful story that really focuses on deep lessons of mental health and identity and stuff like that. And it's done in such a sensitive and careful way it's just very, very well done. So then my job is to take that information, that plot, and translate it into a card mechanic. And you see that with some of the cards. So like Styx, I think, is a great example. That the TCG player, oh nice, the TCG community was like, oh, something's going to happen to Styx, and we know that because of what Bobby did with the mechanics on Styx the card, because Styx can block your final point of damage and you stay alive. So throughout the TCG, I tried to make little nods to the plot, and it's pretty much thinking about what the character wants to do within the game is kind of my design philosophy.
Wait, that's actually so sick. I didn't make that correlation. But yeah, the part where like Styx takes like the paintbrush and turns gray, like saving the others. That's actually a really cool nod back. I didn't actually make that correlation. That's really cool.
Oh, yeah, the art for Styx, he was initially him getting hit by the gray, and just based off the TCG release, we didn't want to spoil that, so we switched it to just our cute picture that we have now of our best boy Styx. I have him here somewhere.
Yeah.
So cute.
Adorable. Fer, I got another question for you. Are there any card illustrations you worked on that you are especially proud of?
Okay, I'm proud of every single one of them. But if I had to choose one, the babies, because they were my first ever set, and I'll treasure that forever.
Oh.
The babies were so cute. Oh, the loop is so fantastic. Follow up on that. Which expansion was your favorite? Is it 25th anniversary?
Yeah.
That makes sense. That makes sense. What cards did you illustrate? Oh, yeah, what cards did you illustrate in the Void Within? I'll have to grab some out.
The pet pets.
The pet pets. Yes. Oh yeah, that's right.
Pet pets.
That's right. Yeah.
So one thing cool about the pet pets that forgot to do is Anasi, the exclusive pet pet to the TCG, forgot to know that existed before anybody else, which I thought was really cool.
It was a challenge because I didn't have more reference, just one, so it was hard, but there it is.
Oh, good.
Right on. Let's see. What other questions do I have? For following up, what is your favorite part of drawing Neopets characters for cards? Is it like the variety of species, expressions, nostalgia?
That I get to draw species that are not very popular, and even by myself, and I end up loving them. Like, how do you call this guy? I say Quiggle, but I think that's not right. He's so expressive. I love him. And I didn't love him before, but I do now.
Oh, Quiggle confirmed.
Yeah.
Oh, I do have so moving on from the phone cam, I do have slides of your drawings here. So here we have the Tuffala from start to finish. Tuffala is so fantastic. I absolutely love Tuffala
Thank you
so much.
Thank you.
We have the gray cads. Oh, the gray cadotes are so sad.
La chancla.
Trying to move them so we can see. Yeah, they're so cute. We have the Python here. Very cool. I love. There's so much detail in like the background here. That's so sick. I love that so much. But yeah. Let's see.
I think it's in the Anansi art as well. You can see the Python in the background. Is that right? For it's in the
Yes.
Yeah, and that's something that Fur has done with like all the sets that they've drawn. Is like even in War for the Obelisk, the shadow pets. Like if you look at them all together, it like tells a story, and they're behind in the other areas of each other. It's brilliant. I love it so much.
Thank you. I love adding details like that.
All right. Let's take a couple viewer questions. I don't know what we're going to do for the prize for this one. Someone let me know what we're going to do for that. But we have a couple of viewer questions. King Rowlet, I swear. Question: will King Altidor's thigh high boots be an equipment card in the eventual Altidore theme set? Blink one for yes.
I always say, "Don't tempt me." There's definitely there's jokes that I do like to add into the TCG and for the Neopets fans, and you never know. You never know.
Okay, for this segment, we're doing the Void Pep paintbrush.
Ooh.
So if if your question gets picked, we'll do that one. We have another one. Semi Charmed says, question: did you work directly with the artist from the plot for the Void Within TCG to ensure everything was identical?
Is that question for me? I'd assume.
Yes. I imagine for the both of you. Like, did you?
Yeah. Kind of is a good answer for it. TNT does a really great job at letting us kind of do our own thing with our artists and lets them take some creative freedom. Luckily, with some of our artists, like Fur, matches that, I call it Anthony Conley style artwork, with the heavy line work and just and whatnot. So a lot of those styles work really well together. But yeah, the TNT Clammyhands and Fae are actually the people that review all the artwork for anything for the TCG that comes in. So they check for lore accuracy and whatnot. Besides me, when it comes through Ricky, our art director, or former art director Emily, and myself, check for like lore accuracy and stuff like that too.
That kind of answers the next question too. Adventure Awaits said, Bobby, is the TCG considered canon to their counterparts on the site for lore reasons? Example, items, characters, etc.
Yeah, it is. I pulled when I make the checklist for the sets. I pulled information directly from the Neopets website, so characters and whatnot. But you're in those images, and too, you'll see that yeah, they're lore accurate. Besides some of the stuff like I have Lo-Fi Girl, Jadora behind me here. I don't know if she ever did that actually, but with the Glade outside because they're roommates. But yeah, I think canon adjacent is correct. Not necessarily canon though.
Fair enough. Fair enough. And then I have one more question. Bobby, have you been scheming? I was told to ask. I was told to ask you that.
Who asked this question?
TNT Fae.
Yes, always.
All right.
I never stop.
Right on. Well, thank you too for coming on. This has been a super fun segment. We have one last Q&A here at the end. We're gonna get everyone in, and we also have a bit of a reveal coming up next.
Bobby, really quick, I'm sorry to interrupt you. I got one more thing.
Okay.
You don't know about this, sorry.
Uh-oh.
Bobby, want to thank you, Bobby, for everything that you've done for the Neopets Battledome TCG community. So thank you so much.
Me?
I picked something up for you recently that I saw you were trying to get.
No!
And I said, no, sir.
Wait,
so this is the pretty paper booklet for the Red Usul from the TCG. So I wanted to make sure that you got into the right hands. So thank you for everything you do for me and for my community, and being such a light in this community. And yeah, man, I appreciate you so much.
Oh,
so
brother,
thank you. This is for you.
You're gonna make me cry. No, I have one more segment.
We love you.
Thank you.
We love you.
Thank you. I'm really happy to be a part of the community. It's really incredible. All right, I need to go grab a tissue. I'll be. We're gonna get into the next segment here. We're gonna have everyone join together for one last quick Q&A. A reveal by FerWanwan here, and at the end, I have a couple surprises from the upcoming Curse of Maraqua set to show off at the end. We'll have. And there will be 10 questions selected. Get your questions in there, like ASAP. I gotta go to work. So get your questions in the chat ASAP. We're taking 10 questions so you can ask anybody. We're gonna be giving away the very first round of Void Failies. So yeah, they will be in the game. They will be paintable, but you can be one of the first to have it before it releases for everyone. I will get a picture thrown up there, but stay tuned for the last final segment. Thanks, guys. All right, and we have one final Q&A. Make sure you get your questions in for Void Failie. Let's welcome everyone back in. Hello. Thank you all for taking part in this event. This has been super fun. It means a lot that you guys would reach out and do this. It's been incredible. I know we're going to have a Q&A here in a second, but first we have a very special... Oh, no, I'm leaking. Uh-oh.
He's leaking.
We're leaking DMs here. Hold on. Chat, I gotta hide Discord real quick.
Just turn the whole thing off. Just cut it off.
Shut it down.
Okay. So everyone, I want you to have your attentions to my screen here. We have a very special poster for the Void Within, designed by FerWanwan here, that we're gonna check out here. Are you guys ready?
Oh yeah.
I think so.
Let's do it. Here we go. 3, 2, 1. Oh, it's so big! The file size is so big.
Not Shakara's forehead.
Wait.
I mean, it's a beautiful forehead.
Okay. I didn't.
We're getting there.
Piece by piece. Yup. Even more dramatic.
Let's go.
Puzzle.
That looks so sick, though.
Oh my gosh, Nick looks cool.
Yeah, phenomenal.
Holy hecky.
That has to go in my room.
That's
Honestly,
so
I
sick.
want that on my wall.
I'm definitely gonna get one of those. That is so cool.
$1 million to Fernanda.
Show off the
1 billion.
Yes.
Thank you.
That's beautiful. Wow.
That is so sick. Oh my goodness.
I got notes.
Abby looks so cool.
That is so sick. All right, we have some questions that we're gonna fire off. I'm just gonna go down. So Vamp Maiden says question. Okay, I don't know who this is to. I guess someone just chime in if you want to answer. Vamp Maiden 66 says, question, what is your favorite part of being a part of the Neopets team and or community?
I'm just gonna yell first. My coworkers. My coworkers. Literally, the whole team makes the shops worth it.
How dare you?
I mean, and drawing little guys, but literally, this job would be not as fun without the people that work here.
100%.
Agreed.
Yeah.
With us all having to see each other on screens like this every day, I have a lot of other friends that work remote, and they're like, I miss people. I miss being around people. And I'm like, I miss that too. But at the same time, I like the people I work with every day, we actually get online and we talk to each other. We're not sitting in our own rooms and working by ourselves. Like we talk so often, and it really brings us all together, and it makes me not feel alone while I'm sitting there typing my little stories. And
right on.
Yeah.
I was just gonna say it feels awesome being able to contribute to something that I've always been so passionate about, just in general, but also for the lore specifically. Like, I don't get like a lot of chances to contribute because I have to keep my head down programming a lot of the time, but sometimes I'll join the narrative brainstorming sessions and give input or share like my own personal headcanons and be like, well, I've always thought this might be the case. And who knows, like, it might make it onto the site, and that's exciting to think about.
Yeah,
I'll definitely second. Oh, sorry, go on.
Yeah, oh yeah, no, I was just gonna say the same thing. It's so cool getting to work on things and like write for things that I was such a big fan of growing up. Like I literally got my start writing, doing role play on the Neo boards. So
Shout out role playing on the Neo.
yeah, it's so much like a full circle moment, and being able to have stuff on the site that I've created and like I've been able to make my mark on it just because I loved it so much is so cool. Like Barwolves, yeah. Oh, I might be pointing the wrong direction, but either way, Barwolves, yay! I got to help with that. That was probably like a crowning moment for me, I think, and also getting to work on this plot because I loved playing the plots and reading the stories growing up. So yeah, that's my answer. Coolest thing about working here is getting to do something that I love so much and contribute to something I'm so passionate about.
Right on.
I definitely have to agree there. Yep. I feel like it's a combo of getting to work with such an incredible team, and honestly, those brainstorming sessions we have are some of my favorite. It's like TNT Dingo said, it's not just the narrative team. We have artists, programmers, QA, anyone who wants to come in and contribute to the lore is a fan and is excited. That's where a lot of our best ideas come from, is that room. Just all of us throwing different things into the mix and seeing what really sticks. Well, I didn't mean to say sticks there, but I think the other thing for me that I really love is just having a chance to, I think for me, like when I played Neopets in the past, there were some stories that really connected to me and really like hit me hard. And I think Fairy's Ruin is one that will always stick with me. And if we can do that for other Neopets fans, that's that's what really I think is the most exciting part for me, is being able to carry on that kind of legacy that all of the creators and different artists and writers who worked on Neopia before started. We get a chance to continue that and try to recreate that magic that it feels like hasn't really been there in a long time now, just because not as much has been happening.
Right on. All right, next question. It Meow says, will there be long-term Neopian implications on the world? Like when the Rainbow Fountain was being attacked, similar to how Fairyland is now on the ground?
I could touch upon that a little bit. I will say specifically, we actually had discussions on actually having the Rainbow Fountain smashed on the site and be inaccessible. And after having the site be grayer for far longer than we wanted, we just couldn't do it to all y'all, especially all those people who are just like trying to get their dips in and things like that and been working towards it. So we did think that unfortunately for now, we didn't want to do anything too crazy like that. But I will say, post plot, we do have some plans that's changed. Our plans to have things change. We can't do anything quite as grand as previous teams, like taking down an entire land to the ground. But we do have some really exciting, cool things post plot that I think fans will be excited to see. I don't want to give away too much, but we do have some long-term implications of both how the lore and some parts of Neopia itself might change.
Right on. We have a lot of great questions, and we've taken down a lot of your questions. Unfortunately, due to time, we do have to end the stream, but I will ask one more question before we end the stream. Carrot says, what's a fun Easter egg or reference?
In the plot specifically?
Yeah.
From the TCG perspective, look at the art. Look at every piece of art.
There's definitely some stuff in there. I would say Weirdough brought up something. We've stuck some stuff in there. We
Right
can't. It's spoilers if we tell you what the Easter egg is now, but
that's true.
You'll see.
I'm in chapter 5, page 12. So just thought I'd say that.
Right on. Well, I do have to cut it off there. Thank you guys all for coming on. This was, again, super incredible. This is awesome to put on this with you guys. I look forward to doing more if you guys will have me again.
Yeah.
But thank you. We're going to head off now. We will get in contact with those who your questions were picked. And thank you. Yeah, thank you guys all for stopping in and having the slumber party together. Everyone in chat, thank you all for hanging out with us. Make sure before you guys go, make sure you get home safe, get some rest, lots of water. Yeah. Take care, guys. Have a good night. God bless you. And tell your folks I says hi. I'll see you guys later. See ya.